I come to you today to talk about why we should paint realistically and why it doesn't matter if it looks realistic. So I've been drawing and painting my whole life. I love to make art. I love to draw and paint. I mainly work in pen and watercolor. Now, my favorite thing has always been realism. In fact, back in college, my senior thesis for my art part of my degree, I went to school to be an art educator, was to do these hyper-realistic paintings of art supplies. So I was studying the idea of trompe-l'oeil, which means to fool the eye, and I wanted to paint things so realistically that people didn't know if it was a photo or a painting. And I loved this because it made people stop and look closer. It made them wonder, is that a painting or is that a photo? And can I distinguish the difference? And even if they go, oh, I can totally tell it's a painting, I made them look. I made them look closer and pay attention to things. And I've always loved the idea of noticing. So when we're painting the world around us or objects or people, we have to look at them. So as the artist, we benefit because we have to look closer at the things we're painting in order to paint them. So if you want to paint a tree, you're going to look outside, you're going to see a tree, and you're going to have to notice how the little branches break and bend and wiggle and wobble and sway in the breeze. And it makes you a more interested person in the world when you look at it and have to paint it. For the audience who sees that painting of a tree, they are gonna go, wow, it looks like such a cool tree, and they're gonna look closer. And they're gonna say, wow, look how they made all the little branches bend and sway, and look at the texture of the bark, and they're gonna notice that tree more than if they walked outside and saw the tree, more than if they saw a photo of the tree, because they're gonna be amazed at how somebody painted the tree. Now, I mentioned that I don't think you have to make a successful realistic painting to benefit from painting realistically. That's because of the first part, the artist. You benefit as an artist trying to paint something realistically, even if you don't succeed. Even if you are on vacation, which I love travel painting. If you're on vacation and you see this glorious landscape that you really want to draw and paint because you want to remember the way it looks, you want to remember the sunset colors, you want to remember the little rows of houses in the distance, trying to paint that will make you remember it better. This is something I cover way more in depth in my travel painting course. I'll make sure to leave the link down in the description, and because I think it makes traveling so much more amazing if you bring along your sketchbook and try to capture it, even if you don't successfully capture it, but you just try. Same with the audience. If you try to paint something realistically and it doesn't quite turn out, people will still want to look, and maybe they'll even look skeptically and say it doesn't look realistic, but you still made them look. You still made them slow down and wonder, what parts are realistic? Where can I find the flaws? Because for some reason people like to find flaws in things. But you as the artist still succeeded in making that person look at real life, look at nature more closely, look at an object more closely. If you're painting still life, you're noticing where the light hits it, where the shadow falls on the surface that it's sitting, how the pattern on the fabric bends and breaks when there's folds. All of those things are so beautiful, but we don't notice them until we try to recreate them. So whenever you're out to make art, if you want to doodle, have fun and make abstract art, that's fine. But the next time you want to paint something, realize that the most important part of that experience is looking, is noticing those edges, lines, and details, and trying to emphasize them and make them noticed by other people. And then, even if the art doesn't turn out, you still successfully captured something amazing. So that's my take on why realistic painting is a great idea, and it's fun and it's valuable no matter if it's successful or not, and it's valuable for both the artist and the viewer. So if you want to make some realistic paintings, check out my other tutorials. I like to keep realistic simple these days, not like my hyper-realistic stuff I did in college. I like the more fun, loose, illustrative style, and I hope you'll try making some on your own. Happy painting.